Good afternoon. My name is Maciver. I'm the founder of MindGenius. I've been in the software industry for the last 30 years, developing products and growing businesses. What we're showcasing today is MindGenius, sitting within teams. This gives us a blend of mind mapping techniques, project management tools, and the collaboration capability in Microsoft Teams. Ultimately, it provides a creative and collaborative workspace within the team's environment, which makes remote working on ideas stimulating and feasible, allowing you to go through brainstorming sessions with your team, whether that brainstorming is to do with problem solving or strategy or risk, it doesn't really matter. The result is that we can run online workshops effectively. Online meetings have a focus. We improve the team collaboration, and we really have a credible alternative to in-person workshops. And ultimately, this makes hybrid working easier and more practical. Now, the common thing with working with developing products over these years is we've always developed products to address issues or address problems. MindGenius started off life as an in-house tool. We work with teams, small teams, large teams, and clusters of teams that we call pods, each with their own contribution to an overall group objective. And the challenges we faced in those times were ineffective meetings, a lack of clarity or uncertainty within the team, certainly the junior members of the team and what they were trying to achieve relative to what others were trying to do. Poor prioritization. There's always loads that can be done, but how can you just prioritize where you can get the best return for your effort going through? We want to have people working in the easy wins where there's high impact with little effort, as opposed to little impact and high effort, which is the money pit as is described here. Another challenge is, how do you get people to move from talking about or thinking about doing something to actually making things happen? And again, we had to find a creative way to make that work. And then we come to the elephant in the room, as it were. How do you manage work in progress? Usually quite simple. You're only managing one project, but often we've got multiple plates to spin, multiple projects, and that then becomes more challenging. So the solution we come up with has got three elements to it. Better idea generation, where we can quickly capture, organize, and prioritize and action ideas generated by the team. We've got real-time visualization going on, which stimulates thoughts, improves participation amongst the team, and crucially, this white space allows the quieter voices amongst us to be heard, to be seen, and to be valued. The second element of it was to try and simplify project management. First of all, by having better understanding of the scope and the objectives in the project, having them clear, having them defined, making sure everybody knows what the dependencies are upstream and downstream. Managing scope creep, in other words, trying to nail that as hard as possible. Improved risk in terms of identification and mitigation, and keeping stakeholder expectations in check. Another key element was to have this one version of the truth, a single point of reference, with improved visibility and traceability as to what was going on. Equally, to have all digital assets and the resources in one place, so you have no need to jump in and out of applications multiple times a day. That, coupled with comprehensive task management, giving you real-time progress tracking and reporting, and timely nudges and notifications to remind you of things as expected of you, all ensuring that everybody stays on track and meets their targets. The value and the benefit we get from that is we have improved and better problem solving with improved idea generation. The mind mapping component, the visualization, is well known to simplify complexities by identifying relationships and dependencies. Probably the most important thing not appreciated is how easy it is to spot gaps, something which is almost impossible in traditional documents. Ultimately, it all lets us quickly identify the core issue and the potential solutions to those problems. Decision making tends to be better. They're thought through, they're data driven. Everyone's on the same page, and the team and the organization become better at managing change. It's easier to assess, to respond, to prioritize, and to adapt to change. We also have improved status awareness across the team and stakeholders, real time, anytime, at your fingertips. You got your status reports that you require. There's no need to schedule routine daily, weekly meetings. That gives you more time to focus on real issues. And this better use of time is kind of important. It's simpler to organize and plan. You identify bottlenecks and risks much sooner and easier. And you're far more aware of the resource utilization you have across multiple projects. In terms of demo, I'm going to quickly show you 3 elements of this just now. Idea generation itself, the simultaneous input. So as many folk as you have in your team, or as many folk as you want to get involved, you invite them in. It's simultaneous input. You have an audit trail of anybody who puts anything in that tracks what's been added, deleted, or whatever. To give you an idea how easy that is, you just pick up on the history of anything that's ever happened. It's all auditable there, and you can give and stick somebody's face against each branch if you need to get further clarification on it. Equally, when you want to inject new ideas, one of the benefits of using mind mapping is when you have a new idea, it's very straightforward to add something. There is no formatting required. So if you want to inject something in and you want to move it somewhere else, you just use the drag and the drop capabilities in the product to allow you to do that. So anything can be moved relatively easy. It's effortlessly slotted in, and that makes life a lot easier moving forward. Prioritization, another big thing, quite a difficult thing to try and get our heads around, but the way we address this with the ability to look at information from different perspectives. It's the same information, but we're looking at it through different windows, whether that's through different layouts or perspectives. You know, tagged by simply tagging or categorizing these branches, we can look at things maybe from the impact they have on customers, or the effort it takes for us to actually make it happen, or the risk associated with something red, amber, green. Ultimately, this different perspective gives us the ability to compare and contrast, and the end goal here is to get you to a shortlist as quickly as possible. I'm going to take you to a short clip here just now, which is very simplistic, but hopefully gets a point across. It's about introducing a robot into the household and the risks that that might take. So for the first thing we're identifying is from a categorization point of view, high, low, and medium risk. And all we're really trying to do here is just try and understand each risk associated. We then go into this tag view, as it were, category view, high, medium, and low. And that then allows us to start looking at each of those and deciding how to mitigate and eliminate that risk, or certainly reduce that risk. So hopefully there's enough in that to get you an idea of what we're trying to do there. Managing workload. Now, managing workload, again, we've got numerous project management tools in there. It's easy to just talk about it as we go through. So another quick view of this one. So you can have multiple projects in here. You can manage them as maps. You can manage them as Kanbans. You can manage them as Gantt timelines, or all, if it makes sense. The whole idea is everything in here, you can look at it in different viewpoints all the way through. Multiple projects, you can get dashboards, give me an oversight, everything's all aggregated up to let you see where you are in the bigger picture on the way through. So who's this for? Well, ultimately, this is for anybody challenging the status quo, whether that is at work or at home. It's for individuals and it's for teams. It's for anybody planning an event or planning any form of change. And within our own user group, where we see it's popular in amongst executive management teams when they're defining strategy for managers, project managers, stakeholders, and clients in terms of delivering on projects, and even within education both on the educator side and on the student side. There is easy deployment with this within Teams itself. It's a very straightforward search within Teams. I'll just quickly show that. There's 3 elements to it. You can go when you're just working on one channel at a time. As you can see here, I've got within this channel just the map version that would typically be used at the planning stage. You can go with the task board version for that. But if I wanted to add something in here, if I wanted to hook in, then all I do is simply type in, pick it up. The three options are to go the full app or to select one specific project. I want to limit what's in the channel to one project. I've then got a choice if I go down to show a map, possibly a planning stage, and dashboard at a WIP stage, work in progress stage, you can do so. We'll go with the full app this time because we've seen the other two already. That means I've now got full access to that application all the way through. So that's the notion here. So I come back to the screen again. The notion being that you embed project-specific maps at the idea or planning stage, the task board at the work in progress stage. If you have multiple projects, then you might need to tie in your complete application. But ultimately, you've got direct access to everything in front of you there. So to try and summarize on this, this MindGenius within Teams gives you your own unique workspace. It's a private place to think, where you can quickly capture thoughts and evaluate and rate those with ease. Or it's a shared team experience, which effortlessly adds fresh insight to you. Importantly, you decide what aspects of your work can be seen and accessed by others. We provide a variety of powerful visual tools, and that helps ensure you do the right things and do them right. And ultimately, we want to turn ideas into action, highlighting on the way through outstanding workload, what's needed when, and what's most important to try and be on top of. So I'd encourage you today to get the app now by visiting the App Store or to speak to us. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Donald. Hey, we've had some questions come in through the chat that I'd like to see if we could get a couple in the time that we have remaining. So can you tell me for MindGenius, how do I share information in MindGenius with others?
Yeah, it's a good question. There's a number of ways. First of all, you can invite folk to collaborate with you. You simply invite them in. They then come into your workspace. So that allows you as a team to work together. You can assign tasks. When you assign tasks to somebody, then they automatically come into the team. You can use the chat facility again around a specific area that sends a message that you can get straight into again. You can share this mind map as a map that's available just by not even having a license, just having straight access to it as a public map, almost as it were. You can export it to other software tools like Microsoft Project, etc. But the overall thing is you've then got things running in the background, a daily or a weekly digest that gives you an oversight on tracking and things. So it keeps you engaged and gets other folk engaged with you on the way through.